A newcomer who debuted in Medarot S not too long after its launch, it is and very lovingly known as the Pain Train. It is JOK00 Shuppord, with a kit of heater, beam, power rifle, biped legs, and the leg ability of aim, which passively buffs the success stat of all equipped shooting parts on his build. Now, I'm going to try to do this without any bias and with as little bias as possible because, quite honestly, I honestly love Shuppord's design. Very solid conventional and even potential nuking capability that he offers, but of course also with my particular attraction and interest towards steam locomotives in particular, gonna be just a little tricky to grade him without bias, which I did my absolute hardest to make sure I didn't. But even bias aside, he does have some very solid conventional skills across his build that make using him very, very solid. Head is a heater skill, which means that it'll buff your heat time, which is running to the command line by up to 20% if I recall correctly across the team. So very easy to make use of to guarantee that you can get to that line quickly after giving your command. Right arm of Beam kind of where he hurts a little bit, but not too much. Beam has that ×2 damage bonus at 30% charge, and then that ×3 bonus at 100%. But because it has no pierce damage, it does honestly kind of hinder its viability just a little bit. But for spot nuking, to make sure that it guarantees to take out a particular part in question, Beam also is still a very solid skill to go with. The left arm, however, his power rifle is where Shuppord really shines on the battlefield. Power rifle is a basic shooting attack with no major attribute to it, such as optic or gravity, that has a ×1.5 damage bonus as long as your legs remain intact. Of course, that does leave you with the no defend, no evade drawback while you're in your cooldown, but it is a very high base damage part, and with the exception of Death Providence, it is easily one of the strongest left arm power rifles in the game. So for that reason, among others alone, Shuppord is already very highly sought after, just for that, primarily for that left arm, but also for his build as well, in the case you do have to use him as a pure set. His leg ability of aim also does greatly benefit both of his arms, as they are both shooting parts, which means that his hits are more likely to land. In addition to that, they are also more likely to land crits, since your success stat ties in your likelihood to land the hit as well as your critical hits. As a pure set score, as much as it hurts me to rate him around this range, I would rate him about a 6.5 out of 10 for the reasons stated above. He does have some pretty solid base stats across the build. He's not the fastest on the team, so he's not going to be up there with, say, for instance, JOK00 or Cross Messiah. He's just going to kind of chug along at his own pace, essentially. But in the times that he does end up going to the line, he is going to ensure that every hit does count, especially with that power rifle that he's packing for the left arm. As mixed parts, however, I rate him just a little higher at a 7 out of 10. Again, for very solid reasons, as balance with a high armor pool and pretty solid and conventional shooting skills across the build as well, and that, of course, that power rifle for your nuking part. So if you're a brand new player to the game that's in need of something that has high base power, or even a veteran that's still in need of something to add to spice up the game a little bit, look no further than the legendary Pain Train himself, Shuppord. It also is worth noting in particular with Shuppord, he also is an Ori meta winner from one of the early contests that Imagineer had prior to Medarot S's release. So it's even more going towards Shuppord's favor in this case, as essentially a fan favorite and a fan submission that made it big. So look no further than the Pain Train himself if you're looking for that conventional hybrid shoot nuker.